What are we making today, Chef?
We're going to do a pasta dish. So we'll have about 10 pastas on our menu.
Okay.
Gemelli, made with burnt, it's called Grasso Arno.
So this is a lot different than the pasta that I make at home in my kitchen.
That's great. But you're buying a box, and it's fine. You buy
Yeah.
good pasta. We hand make this out of an extruding machine.
Wow.
We put burnt flour in there. That's why this is dark. It's not chocolate. It's not cocoa. It's burnt flour.
Wow.
And so
okay.
they call it grano arso. It's from Puglia. So we're going to cook that. It's gemelli. We're going to cook that in our pasta cooker. It acts like a dry pasta, but it cooks in literally a minute and a half.
Really?
This will take about 3 minutes.
Okay.
But and so we're serving it with that particular dish will be on our menu with lamb bolognese. So
Lamb.
bolognese sauce, like a beef
Okay.
bolognese, only
Yeah.
with lamb, same. And carrots. The orange in there are some carrots.
Okay.
Lamb and carrots go really well together. So we're going to do it with mint, feta cheese, and this flavored grano arso pasta, which is kind of the classic pasta, but it's not necessarily always served with lamb.
So yeah, that didn't take too long at all.
No,
Wow.
it's pretty fast. And really, pastas are pretty quick. What you want to do is, sometimes Americans, in the past, we put this sauce over the top of the noodles. Mm-hmm. Kids like that because they want to, but really, pasta should be cooked in this sauce for several minutes so it absorbs.
So it absorbs that flavor, that sauce?
And it's not going to completely absorb in there, but it brings this dish together.
Yeah.
And then you're letting some of the starch also thicken this meat a little bit if you need some, because in America we tend to serve pastas a little too saucy, a little bit too runny maybe.
Oh, okay.
They should be fairly tight. We're gonna fall somewhere in the middle. We're gonna make sure that America loves to eat our food, but we're gonna try to stay true to Italy.
Sure.
And so this will go on a plate. Mint and lamb are pretty classic. Mm-hmm. Mint and peas, mint and carrots, all that kind of stuff, pretty classic. And then we're going to put feta cheese. Now, the Italians might not put feta, but feta and lamb go well together. Mm-hmm. So we're just kind of combining. That's why I guess when we say a modern Italian restaurant,
Yeah.
we're using we can change a few things out here and there and still stay true to the Italian concept. And then we'll use really, really good olive oil to drizzle on our pastas. So we just drizzle a little bit of that around the edge, and man,
And there it is.
that's going to be friggin' delicious.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. We're behind the oyster bar right now, and this is kind of a unique piece of equipment that you have here. What's this?
This is a Burkle, salumi slicer, a prosciutto slicer for deli meat type thing. 1947.
1947.
Got
Wow.
this on an auction. It has a sister scale that goes with it over there. So this oyster bar kind of doubles as, we'll do oyster bar kind of down there, and then kind of a salumi bar down here. So we'll be slicing salamis and prosciutto and speck and all that kind of stuff.
Is salumi the same thing as salami? What's the difference?
Salumi in Italy kind of refers to the category of
Okay.
salami, and then within that category there's mortadella and there's all the whatever soppressata, capicola.
I'm learning something new every day here,
You
man.
just have to say it all like they do in Jersey.
Yeah.
Capicola. We're gonna say capicola because
Okay.
we're in
okay.
Kansas City.
All right, so and people have a great view here from the oyster bar as well behind us. You get a great view of Kaufman. You can see the Bartle Hall towers
We thought it
over
was
there.
cool to kind of have this looking out on 19th Street. Have something. Typically most oyster bars are connected to a regular bar.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to kind of separate it and have it be its own thing. That's why I was saying we will kind of treat it like a sushi bar, but not. I don't want to really elevate it to a sushi standards.
Yeah.
But we'll have on these trays raw, like a loin of tuna or a loin of hamachi or some crab meat or whatever those are. Plus all the oysters on ice. All that will be on ice.
Okay.
And so it'll just be selections that we can pull out, slice fresh fish, garnish it with whatever the garnish is for the menu that particular moment, and drizzle great olive oil on it, and you've got a great dish.
Talk about your commitment to local artists here and who's the artist behind these great pictures on the wall.
We wanted to evoke Italian materials, Italian look. We wanted art, modern art on the wall. Robert Quackenbush has done the opening artwork.
You yourself were saying you made this piece over here, right?
Well, I have this cart because I have this thing where kind of it's coming back a little bit. Where in these sort of we're elegant upscale restaurant type that they push around and start these carts and start doing. Caesar salad maybe tableside, or maybe I'll carve some meat tableside, or I'll serve cacio e pepe, this classic Roman pasta, in a bowl of cheese or something. I don't know yet, but I built it because I thought I'll get it built and then I'll figure out what to roll around in it next, a later date.
Not only a chef, but a carpenter too, huh?
I play around.
I'm told you've kind of started the rebirth, so to speak, of the Crossroads area.
I am the older chef figure in town. But I moved here from Chicago in 1994, February 15th. And you know, it was a great job at the American restaurant. They offered me the executive chef job and kind of a corporate chef job there. And I was excited about the job, but it was, you know, I was thinking, Kansas City, I've been trying to get out of Kansas City towns my whole life. I grew up in those kind of towns all over the country as a kid, and I wanted to be in a big city. And so I was in Chicago, but there wasn't any movement there because this chef thing that's happened over this last 20 years hadn't really happened yet. It was starting, and all the chef jobs were already, you know, the great places to work were already owned by the chef, and he was the chef, and so you weren't going to get a chef job. So we moved here. Over the years, we've grown this thing.
What was it about the Crossroads that drew you in, saying, this is where I want to put my first restaurant in Kansas City at?
I worked there 7 years, and I left in 2001. I actually opened my first restaurant out in Leawood, 40 Sardines.
Oh, okay.
And I was down there for 3 or 4 years, and it was very successful. And then I had to left that company, and then came down to the Crossroads. And Alex Pryor was with Zinn, and that's where Michael Smith is right now. And he was relatively successful, but it was just stagnant down here. There wasn't much happening. The development hadn't happened yet. And so he asked me if I would look into buying his place. He wanted to move to San Francisco and work in wine country. And so we did. We bought the Michael Smith space and revamped it and remodeled it and opened it up. Or we bought the Zen space and turned it into Michael Smith. And then at the same time I was negotiating that lease, the other space for Extra Virgin came up for lease because the Blue Gallery that was in there at the time didn't renew. So I knew immediately that we would do 2 restaurants because I'd been wanting to do this Spanish tapas kind of small plate concept. And so I knew immediately we'd do both.
Yeah. So talk about the transition you're doing now from Michael Smith on one side of the block, now just over a block away, to Farina.
My wife and I were talking about retirement. She's not ready to retire, and I'm not either, but I'm at that, I'm almost 60, so I'm at that age where you start thinking at least where you're gonna be in 15 years or 20 years. And so it was like, where would we retire? Now, of all the places we thought about where we loved the food and by water, Italy. Parmesan cheese, you know, speck, prosciutto, basil, tomato sauce, pasta. I mean, so I thought, okay, I love that food. I love that culture. Why aren't I cooking that?